I've just come from a bioart conference in Perth, with Symbiotica, and presented a paper on digital life. Lots of presentations on immune system and DNA. Now I'm in my bed in Chongqing trying to fight off a bad cold. I'm thinking of agonists and antagonists of receptors. Shapes that fit either productively or disruptively. Both are a type of relationship. I said once that I was an artist because I didn't understand the world and was bad at hiding it. Always trying to make sense of things. So how to make sense of being in Chongqing? Maybe Muex fit the criticism, Burroughs' feverish semi-autobiographical interzone, Linus's philosophy performances. I don't really believe in a single authoritative meaning of something. I think that things change depending on how they're used, how you relate to them and how they fit into your life. I think this applies to technologies, bodies, and cities. So it seems right to talk about my inhabitation of Chongqing and how my world fits together here. The process of working through connections, the absence of Google Maps and Translate, Tantan, learning Mandarin, VPNs, my lingering gout and bad cold mixed with steep hills and tables of meat and beer. It also seems right to explore it through the same aesthetics as I lived it through, language cue cards and dating apps, dictionaries and translating tools. With artificial, synthesized voices repeating unfamiliar words garbled to ambiguity. How do I ask for a pork bun? New Roboutser. Is that right? Yan buys me medicine from the Chinese pharmacy, and I look it up via my VPN to Wikipedia to find what amantadine hydrochloride does. It is prescription in most countries, but I could get it over the counter. The Wikipedia page tells me the mechanism through which it works, blocking the proton channel the virus gets its energy through. A tiny tube connecting it to the outside world. But it also tells me the CDC found 100% of influenza have mutated to change the structure of this channel and are now resistant to it. I think of the GFW of China and its attempts to automatically learn and block VPNs, and this feels like a very similar relationship. There's another unrelated effect of amantadine though, as an anti-Parkinsonian drug. As a mild dopamine agonist. It fits into dopamine receptors and blocks reuptake. It makes me happier. I'm learning Chinese and to me many of the sounds and symbols are antagonists or disruptors for my memory and understanding, similar enough to make me think I've got it, but then wrong.
Is to do something, and 做下来 is to sit down. I feel like I'm the same time.
Like the physicality of agonists and antagonists, some symbols have similar enough shapes that I respond to them. Drinking coffee here. The coffee machine and the plug wiring. Agonistic. I should be drinking tea, more of a local drink, but I love coffee. The coffee machine bites me when I touch its metal sides. The wiring is fucked, and everything that should be grounded is now 240 volts. I'm fascinated by the idea that something intended as a last resort safety feature. The idea is that if something shorts and the body of the appliance is connected to 240 volts, it runs straight through to ground and the fuse blows, is now the mechanism for potentially deadly hazard. The earth pin seems to fit into the wall socket, but it's not the connection it should be, and the result is chaotic. The illness I've got here, at the end of it my T-cells will bind perfectly to the shape of the virus, and it will be whisked away to be digested. My body finally making sense of things much better than I ever could, but the learning process was fever, cold, coughing, weak, and vulnerable.